Hi, sales wizards. Today we're going to be talking about clients appearing out of thin air. I know we all hear these miracle stories of, oh, I just signed a 10K client and they just kind of came out of nowhere. This is the experience that I had the pleasure of having myself on multiple occasions. My clients have had this experience as well. And today I am going to be talking to you about what does it take on the strategic side, as well as the magical, the mindset, and the energetic side in order to make this a norm in your business. I am so relieved right now that Offer Lab is done. That was a jam-packed, amazing event full of information that I do hope you took away with it. Bits of and gold nuggets that you can utilize in your business is going to serve you really well. And moving forward, if you do want to take that step in your business, I do invite you to come join the Sales Wizard Mastermind or the group experience. I do invite you to PM me and to see what would be right for you, to see if it's the right thing for you now that you got a chance to learn how I work and learn my methods. This is something we're going to go so much more in depth on to really revolutionize your business. So without further ado, let me go grab my notes. And let me invite those who wanted to be here. Hi, Yula. Good to see you. Talking about clients appearing out of thin air and how to make that more of a constant thing in your business, of how to line yourself up energetically as well as strategically to make sure that that happens. So I'm going to invite a couple of people who RSVP'd to make sure that they're here. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Yula. Carrie, Maya. Lynn, you're already here, and one more person. Hello, Michelle. Those of you that are popping on, please say hi. Have you ever had the experience of clients coming in out of nowhere in your business? Or if so, what is the current perception of this happening in your business for you right now? How do you feel about this? About clients coming up out of thin air? Poof, clients, where do they come from? Have you ever had that experience? Have you experienced that at least once in your business? Please go ahead and share your experience. Like I said, today I'm going to be talking about the several holographic pronged approaches I do with all aspects of everything that I do. I'm going to give you 7 both strategic as well as energetic things that need to be in place in order for this to happen. Because I don't believe it's just one or the other. I really feel like it's a combination of both that needs to be present in order to make this experience repeatable for you. Because for a lot of people, they think it's, it is magic. It truly is. But in order for magic to happen, you need a hat and you need a rabbit to pull it out or to pull out of it, right? I wish it would happen. I've never had it happen yet. Maya says never had that, but that's about to be my new affirmation. Yes, clients coming up out of thin air. Like, where do they come from, right? So I've personally had this experience, and usually whenever individuals describe it, it's mystifying, right? Like, oh, I changed my energy and I had sex and all of a sudden I had this 10K client. How many of you have seen those social media posts and are like, okay, like what the hell, what actually happened behind the scenes? Because then, it's not about just you going and changing your energy. What does that even mean? Like, what does that entail? Give me the details. So you're sitting there hungry, like, huh? What? Love the photo behind you. Thank you, Maya. I've been reconnecting with my equestrian passion recently, and it's really been fueling me. So I appreciate it. Yeah, it was like a present to myself, so I appreciate it. So how many of you have seen those kinds of posts? Like, I changed, oh yeah, and then I had sex, and I upped my standards, and then clients happened. I just realized my stove is still on. I will be right back. So share your experience. I'll be right back. Okay, before I burn my house down, and then, clients coming up out of thin air because I burned my house down, that would be my next marketing post. So it's really mystifying for people, right? And most people don't take into account of everything that has to happen before this happens. So in the Sales Wizard Mastermind, one of the things I'm going to talk about is the release button of this kind of release. Whenever we get too obsessed about sales in our business, we actually end up choking the energy. Whenever my clients or I have had this experience, there has always been this kind of push and pull. And Maya, that photo is actually really representative of this kind of push and pull energy that needs to be there, as it would for horseback riding. Like, you need to know when to pull. Excuse me, I'm just choking on my own spit here. You need to know when to pull back the reins, and you need to know when to press go. You need to know when to go ahead and like buckle back in, and you need to know when to go ahead and release any kind of detachment. So what is actually going on here? I have had a client, and a lot of times too, they have similar kind of undertones, right? So for instance, one of my clients had received a $1,500 full pay when she was wanting to do accounting in her business, and then she decided to go camping instead. She's like, Marina, I feel like I have to do this thing, but instead I feel like I just want to go camping. Whenever it has happened to another one of my clients who's in real estate, she $7,800 in sales while she was on vacation and when she went to the spa. Mind you, this woman works her ass off. Okay, so what actually needed to happen for her energy is one that works and works and works all the time, that until that release button happens for her, like, that energy channel doesn't open up. So first of all, I'm going to go through these things one by one. I have 7 different step-by-step things that you need to have in place in order to have these intangible experiences become more norm. But how many of you are also frustrated with seeing these kinds of posts of like, I just booked all these sales while being at the spa and whatever, right? And you guys, like, for me in my business, I'm going to share this experience, but I owed my coach $3,500, and I remember I had just like moved to a new place, just fixed my car, then I had to get my tooth pulled, and I was like, there's no way in hell. So I did like everything in my power. It was like Thursday, and I think Wednesday I had to get my tooth pulled. I remember I was doing like everything in my power. I even asked my landlord, I was like, I owe this money on Friday, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I don't want to get fired because so far I've had some major progress in my business, and I want to stay in integrity. I want to stay in integrity with the payments because that's what I expect my clients to do to me, right? So what had happened was I had this intuitive hit to go to my favorite coffee shop, and then I was like, I have so many things to do. Why would I go to this coffee shop right now? This is so in the way of, like, I have to make $3,500 in 2 days. And I called up my man. He's like, you could come and help me with one of my jobs, and he's a contractor. And I was like, how much are you going to pay me? He said like $300 or something. I was like, well, that's $300 I don't have. Let's go. I was like, if I go now, and I had this intuitive bug of like, you need to go and get your latte. If I go now, I will make it there before they close. It was an hour away from where I lived at that point in time. And I just got in my car and I got my latte. When I got home, I noticed that there was a woman who was interacting on one of my live streams who I haven't seen before. And I was like, wait, what? Like, she actually interacted and was interested in one of my programs, but I like just could not see because of just how closed that channel was. You see what I mean? And then I was like, oh my gosh, hey, you're interested in my program. Here's more information about it. She booked a sales call for the following day. That same night, like within an hour, I posted something about like my process and my program. It was a pretty straightforward post about everything that I take my clients through, like one by one. And I had somebody message me saying, this works for all industries, right? I'm like, yeah, it actually does. She was like, okay, I'll book a call. Booked a call for the same day, and it was still my highest grossing day in business. That Thursday, I booked $12,000 in sales. Both of them signed up for a long-term program with me. So That was my experience, and it still happens. One happened recently as well, of somebody just messaging like, "Oh, I love what you do. I'm not sure exactly how or what, but I saw one of your live streams. Poof, done." So what kind of alignment needed to happen there, right? So first of all, I'm going to go through these one by one, as you have been waiting for. I'm sure you. I would encourage you to take notes. If you have a notepad, I would encourage you to take notes. And if you have any questions throughout, feel free to go ahead and post them below, okay? So first of all, what are you thinking as you are wanting to sign up a new client? The intention with which you are selling means everything. So, for instance, one of the biggest things when it comes to these release buttons for people, the reason why they work is because you change the frequency of your thought. You go from like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, I need to pay my bills, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, where's this next client? There's some sort of an interruption that happens, like go get a goddamn coffee or go camping. There's an interruption that happens in your energy to switch your point of thought to think something else, you see? So what is it that you're thinking? Because if you're thinking from the point of view of like, oh my God, I need my bills paid, unfortunately, that's not how you get clients in a service-based industry, because in a service-based industry, your job is to serve. You are not here necessarily, your clients are not here to save you, you see. So what is it that you're thinking when you are wanting to sign a new client? Every single time, whenever this has happened, both for my clients and myself, what really shifted the trajectory of having a client come out of thin air is my excitement about my offer, which is where I'm headed next. Is my excitement about my offer and being like, wow, what I have is really freaking amazing. Hi, Teresa. Like, what I have is really freaking amazing, and I really want to take somebody through this experience. Like, holy moly. And that changes the thought pattern from like, oh, fuck, where's this next client, to like, I'm awesome, right? And do you see and feel the change in energy there? So what is it that you're thinking as you're wanting to sign up a new clients? Because people feel desperation. People feel if you want to just sign them up for money, or if you actually have something amazing to offer, which brings me to my next point, because this is both strategy and wizardry. You see, like, wizardry and energy needs a channel in order for it to manifest your desires. So say, for instance, I mean, we've all heard, you know, the long joke of like, oh, I want to win the lottery, and God is just like, well, buy the goddamn lottery ticket, right? So if you never create the channel with which this money can come in, which in your case would be your offer, your product, the pay page, whatever it is that you need to do, the contract, some sort of a container in which you can hold your client, the money won't necessarily be able to come in, right? Is this making sense for you? So where do you currently stand with your offer? Or Michelle, I know you sell product-based business, so you sell more products rather than offers. So the next point, the second point, in order to make this happen, where do you stand with your offer? Or the other way to phrase this, do you have a channel into which a client can come in? Have you created either a container or a pathway through your marketing? Have you communicated about this? Have you created some sort of a channel, whether it be energetically in your meditation, whether it be hashing out your offer, whether it would be really putting it out there and making a sales page, in whatever way your intuition tells you, but you need some sort of an energetic channel in which you can hold this client, or else the client is not going to come. You see, like, as soon as you create this kind of like, okay, this is the space that I want to hold for this next client, that's when they appear out of nowhere. Like, that's truly what happens. So this is another strategic thing, of course, is how well do you know what they're thinking and are asking for? Because energetically, so from a marketing standpoint, yeah, it creates clear marketing. From an energetic standpoint, you become a complementary match. So say, for instance, if they're like a triangle, and then, you know, you like complete the triangle with the client like being there. Does that make sense? So you create this kind of complementary energetic match with your offer, but more than anything, with how well can you empathize with this client. So a lot of times whenever people are in desperate situations and are like, where and when is my next client coming from, this is the hardest part for you to remember, is like, oh crap. And instead of going from oh crap to who am I and who are they? Most problems in business, in marketing, and in energy, especially in service-based entrepreneurship, can be solved, for those of you that are highly analytical, can be solved by taking the mindset from yourself and putting it into the mindset of another person. Like, use your intuitive skills, use your analytical skills to find out what is it that they're thinking, and close your eyes and imagine calling them in. Imagine like being with them. Imagine like putting your hand on their shoulder and being like, bro, it's gonna be okay. Right? And that's how you create that energetic connection for them to go ahead and come. Whether or not you can picture them now, from a more strategic point of view, knowing what they're thinking and asking for and really tuning into that is going to allow you to create that epic marketing piece, is going to allow you to create that epic live stream, is going to give you some sort of an idea that's going to come from like open and open-heartedness versus, oh fuck, where's this next client coming from, to like, right? And do you feel that shift in energy as we go through these one by one? Does anybody have any questions? I have 4 more to go. Does anybody have any questions on how to go ahead and set this up? So we so far have covered, what are you thinking when you're wanting to sign this new client and when you're calling them in? How to go ahead and shift that. Where do you currently stand with your offer, or do you have a channel in which a client can come in? Have you set that up either in your analytical way or in your energetic and intuitive and meditative way? How well do you know what they're thinking so that you can write epic marketing messages and or communicate with them telepathically? Because essentially you are, whether or not you know it. Like, that's what happens energetically when you tune into another person and really tune into their needs. Is this making sense to those of you that are watching? And if so, let me know. Or if you have any questions, Michelle Hewitt says, awesome. I try to say good, but then water happened. I'm so glad you're loving this content. So you guys, in all facets of my work, I always highlight both the strategic aspect and the energetic aspect because they're not separate. They're not separate. Every time you tune in and figure out what an individual like really needs, you're actually creating a telepathic connection. Every time you really hash out your offer and do the research and the development and whatever, you're actually creating a more potent energetic container. Like, it's not separate. Do you have a ring light? Yes, I do. Is it obvious? Yeah, I just got a ring light last week for Offer Lab, and it's on this like warm setting. Total sense, Michelle says, and Yulia says the ring light. Yeah, it's on the warm setting. I really like what it does to my skin. I think it makes me look pretty. So I'm going to keep going about the next points if nobody has any questions. So detachment. Looks great. Good. I'm so glad. Thank you. I was wondering about the, the quality of the visuals now. I'm stepping up in the world, Yulia. I got myself a ring light. So the next part, detachment. When engaging with individuals, removing yourself from, oh my God, like I have to sell them, to being open and curious about like, who are you? Are you the client that I've been looking for? Are you the type of client that's going to come into my next container? Every time you do a live stream, every time you do marketing, if you're sitting there checking your phone in an hour to see if anybody has replied, if anybody has engaged, that completely shuts off the energy from openness and welcome and I'm awesome and come here to like, oh crap, right? Do you understand this? So detaching and being open. And this one comes to, can you hold them? This is a big one. A lot of times clients come in as soon as you have an opening in your energy. Which is why I say usually these kinds of manifestations happen whenever people are like, I went to the spa and all of a sudden I just got my 10K client, and oh, I just had sex and then I just had boing and PayPal notifications. Why is that? Like, what happens there? And the reason being is because you go from a choking energy of like, need this client now, to like, all of a sudden you open yourself up, you completely like remove that. Because imagine if you were doing that in a relationship, in a friendship, or in a relationship with like your significant other, right? If there's no kind of space or openness for them to even like come to you to have a beautiful dynamic with you. I infuse a lot of like relational metaphors into my work because I feel like a lot of people can understand that better. But it's no different. I mean, a high ticket container or like a transformational based container, it is a pretty intimate space with another individual, right? So can you actually hold them? And this is a big question for you. And what I mean by that is, are you so concerned, with like bills being paid, or do you have some sort of like shit show happening in your life that has not been sorted out, that your energy cannot actually hold them once they do give you money? Like, can you actually support them? Can you actually be there for them? Do you have the energetic strength? Do you have the energetic unfuckwithability? Okay, let me look at the comments real quick. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of recordings this week for my TNL Excel course, which is why I'm paying extra attention to your recording setup. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. I don't really have a recording setup. This is more on my phone, and I have a ring light that has one of those, it has 3 settings. It has like a warm, which is, this one is the warmest one, but it has like a warm, like a cooler and a bright white light, and then you could change the brightness. Yes, I feel that, leading with value instead of trying to pull in clients. Yes, and so when it comes to like the ability to hold your clients, what I mean by that is like, can you hold the energetic space? Can you hold your own fortitude and your own of like, oh, your own zen, your own center point, and allow the client to come in to unravel theirs, right? Is this making sense? Like, do you actually have space in your bandwidth? Here's the other thing, you guys. So this is interesting. If you're getting the objection of like, I don't have time, or if you're getting the objection of, I'm working with another coach, or I'm on another program or whatever, then this is a sign for you to take a look at if whether or not you have bandwidth. Usually, in order for a client to show up out of nowhere, you need to have bandwidth and you need to have this kind of openness. So let's bring that back to those kinds of, posts yet again of people being like, I just had sex and all of a sudden I signed the energy. What happened there? And what actually happened is your energy opened. She's on an adrenaline high. Paula, you did awesome. I saw Paula doing her live thing in another group, and you absolutely crushed it. It was amazing. It's so awesome to see you do your thing, Paula. I'm happy for you. So lastly, almost lastly, how well do you handle chaotic situations in your life, right? Because what you're setting up for your client is what might be a chaotic situation for them, because you're inviting them on some sort of transformational journey. Even if you are in the field of business development like I am, there's usually, if it was just business, this would not be called sales wizardry. If this was just sales and marketing, we would not be talking about energy, and we would not be talking about any of these aspects that bring clients in out of nowhere and out of thin air. Okay, so this is why we try and dissect them, and this is why it's important for us to know these things so that we can be better facilitators in addition, right? So how well do you handle chaotic situations in your life? Because you may have gotten yourself to this energetic stance of having your offer on dial, of knowing exactly who your clients are, being able to telepathically connect to them, being able to hold them, freeing up your energy space, welcoming them in, thinking all the right things whenever you're signing up a client. And if chaos occurs, can you still be that eye in the middle of the storm, right? If you, the farther and farther that you go in business, the less and less chaotic these tests will be. But whenever chaos occurs, usually in my life, I view it as welcome because I'm like, I'm about to hit another level. This is sweet. And at this point, I'll share something that happens with me intuitively, right? I literally hear Morgan Freeman, like Morgan Freeman narrating. Whenever there's like a triggering chaotic situation, I literally hear Morgan Freeman in my head saying, a choice can be made here. And what I mean by that, if you look at the energy of chaos, it's like a tornado. If you're like on the edge of it, it's going to destroy everything in its path, right? If you're in the center of it, it's dead quiet. And the only person that could be in the center of it is you. And the only person that could center yourself in the middle of the storm is you. And I'm sure you have heard this from other mentors where your energetic container is going to get tested and all this other bullshit. And I don't really view as energy as being some sort of external deity that's here you go, here's your candy, and you get the magic reward or whatever. That's not what it is. What happens here instead is that you are jumping a timeline. So here you are on this timeline of an individual who believes these things that you need to do in order to receive clients, to then jumping to a timeline of somebody who's a wizard who can manifest clients and who can manifest client money and who can manifest amazing business experiences from a completely different space. Whenever there's an energetic upgrade, it requires some sort of a chaos to propel it, right? There's no God coming in and testing you to see if you deserve it or whatever the fuck you've been told. Like, I don't know, sorry. I don't buy that, right? I view that every single aspect of everything that we create, we are at the center point of it, right? It's not necessarily like the universe testing you. The universe doesn't care. Like, the universe does its thing. The universe literally responds to you and your energetic stance, and it has no choice but to follow. So if you create a gravity, things are going to start spinning around you, right? Is this making sense to those of you that are watching? I just kind of went off on a little bit of a rant. Okay, so how well you handle your chaotic situations in your life, and especially if you have some sort of a chaos, if you can either free up your energy or press that release or reset button during that point in time, is usually when those clients appear out of thin air on the other side. Is this making sense to you guys? And this is why, yet again, what has happened, like whenever I went to go have coffee and then the following day had like a 12K day, like what happened, right? What happened there was essentially like all of the above. My offer was on lock. I knew exactly who I wanted to call in, right? But I had like such a choky energy that really needed to get transmitted. And I was on the edge of a tornado instead of being like, I have done everything in my power. I trust myself. I trust the creation. I trust my intention to have this payment be on time. I trust that the clients that I'm calling in are going to go ahead and show up. So by me taking that action of going and getting a latte instead of like, I need to work right now. By me going and taking that action was a release in energy that allowed me to actually get centered and become the eye of the storm, that then changed my frequency, opened up my energy, and completely removed me from the choking energy to an open one that had allowed these clients to show up out of thin air. So that's pretty much step by step, and I had explained both the strategic as well as the energetic aspects of these things. I do highly, highly believe in the importance of clarity and offer creation. I do believe that one has to go with the other, you guys, and here's why. I have gone down the rabbit hole of strategic coaching, as well as like intuitive, working on my energy without knowing what the fuck I'm selling. So like I could have all the strategy in the world where I could have, like I could know all the Instagram hashtags and I could know how to work an email list. But if I don't have clarity around what it is that I'm selling and that channel is not open, then none of those strategies work. Same thing goes with If I go and fix my energy with an energy healer, if I go and, Jesus, I'm getting texted. If I go ahead, fix my masculine and feminine energies or align with my human design or whatever, none of which I really believe are necessary for these things to happen. But if I go and do that and my energy gets open, if I don't have a channel or a way to connect with the said client, then they're not going to be there. There's no space set up right here for these two to coalesce and to meet. And for me personally, what truly finally created magic was both of these elements coming together. And most people gripe about it, especially those of us who are highly creative and intuitive, who are just like, a lot of the strategic coaching doesn't work for me and blah, blah, blah. And the reason being is because most people still don't really know what it is that they're selling and to who. Most people still don't know who they want to, talk to and how to even talk to them. Most people don't have this really deep empathic understanding of the clients that they even want to call in or work with, right? Number 7, are you having fun? Yet again, this is the release and the reset button, right? So you got everything done on this end. You got everything done on this end. Go ahead and open up your energy and relax and trust that, hey, I did everything in my power that I do deserve and I'm worthy enough of relaxing because I just know and know and know that this is going to happen. So that's how it's going to happen because I said so. And by having the unfuckwithable offer, by having the offer that has gotten people results, by having the offer that you know exactly how to, that should be number 1, fun, yeah. By having that in place, in addition to having your energetic stance, which I feel like both complement each other, because the more confident you are in your offer, the more your energy is going to be through the roof. The more confident you're going to be in your delivery, the more your energy is going to be through the roof, the more magnetic you're going to become. And it's just this constant snowball of these two elements interplaying with one another, right? And the more fun you'll have. So yes, this should be number 1 is fun. Yes. And one thing Paula always says is, if your offer is not coming from the heart, then don't do it. If you're not actually, yet again, if you're in it just for the money, then unfortunately the clients out of thin air part is probably going to be a lot more of a rare experience for you. Not saying that it can't happen, but it won't be as easy to make it a repeatable thing in your business, you guys. So on that note, I wanted to go ahead and thank you all so much for joining Offer Lab, the last 5 days of amazing trainings. To those of you that want to go ahead and secure your energetic stance and your offer creation to have this wizardry meet in the middle, I do have the Sales Wizard group experience right now happening, the Sales Wizard Mastermind. I am going to go ahead and put the link to that in case you guys want to check it out. Feel free to PM me to see if that's something that's right for you. The payment plans are pretty generous. There's a payment plan that's not noted on the website or on the sales page that is $800 per month for 6 months. You get one-on-one access to me 3 times for 30 minutes per month, 3 live masterclasses and 3 live Q&As per month. And I'm teaching you everything about sales archetypes, offer creation, marketing, market research, how to do it right, how to find your gifts, how to make sure that you're clear about speaking to the people that you're speaking to, giving you sales trainings for calls as well as messenger. There's so much that's going to be there. And the biggest intention that I have for that space is to make sure that you create an offer based on your own unique gifts. One of the things that I am keeping this is really intimate. So I'm keeping the limit on how many people can join so that I could give one-on-one time to every woman that is there to make sure that we could channel your own essence, because that's one of my specialties, is I can see what specifically needs to be in your offer, what your propensities are, what your gifts are, etc. So I'm gonna, sorry about the shakiness, Sales Wizard Mastermind. Go ahead and give that a look. See if that's something that you want to participate in. If you are not sure, there's a call button at the bottom of the sales page to see if that's something for you. The individuals that are going to do the best in this program are people who have made at least one sale. If you are in a product-based sales industry, this still can work for you. However, I do want to talk to you to make sure to see where you are at. So if you do sell products versus services and this is something you're interested in, please go ahead, PM me, schedule a call with me. If you are starting brand new and have never made a sale or are shaky on your offer, I do recommend the VIP option, for which there are payment plans as well, and you get additional 8 90-minute sessions with me throughout the course. If you're completely brand new, this is going to allow you to really skyrocket and go ahead and take off in your business. This is worth a lot. This is $20-something thousand worth of coaching that I have spent, and I'm only putting in the things that I know work, the things that I know have brought people results even when nothing else has. I have broken 10-year sales courses with people. I have broken month-long hiatuses of no sales with people. And a lot of this, like I said, is both strategic as well as intuitive coaching that I'm going to teach you as well, different techniques on how you can go ahead and strengthen your energy, how you can go ahead and tune into your audience. I mean, there's going to be so much there, you guys, and it's going to be really fun. So does anybody have any questions about anything that I just mentioned, about the mastermind? Please feel free to post them below. I'm going to hang out for just a minute. I hope that you enjoyed this live stream and got a lot out of it. And it is my intention for all of you to have clients come out of thin air, out of nowhere. Let's see, who do we still have here? Michelle and Yulia. Michelle, you're kind of new to my world. I know you have seen some of my posts, but I do encourage you to take a look at Offer Lab, especially day 5, because I talk about sales. I think that would be really valuable for you. One last thing that I want to mention, because Michelle, you are here. To those of you who are in direct sales or MLMs, I am also in direct sales for a real estate investment education company that sells real estate investing education classes. There's a lot of training that I have received. It's a lot different selling a product or an offer that is your own versus somebody else's, because the value and the way that you communicate value, you actually have to get out of the way. Whenever you're selling your own, you have to be like front and center with that, right? So it's a slightly different sale, which is why if you're considering the Sales Wizard Mastermind, there's a lot that you could still benefit, but I do want to talk to you to make sure it's going to be right for you. There's going to be lots of one-on-one support, and as someone who sells direct sales products, or offers as well, it's slightly different, but I do know the difference, and I'm happy to teach you that. So thank you all who have joined. I hope that you have a beautiful evening. I will be popping in here maybe once more before the end of the week, depending on the inspiration that I receive. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. To those of you that are new to my world, welcome yet again. Michelle says exactly. Yes. All right. Bye, everybody.